Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family to PSGINT reacting to tweets, episode 12, I'm guessing. Let's react to the tweets that dropped today. So, Thierry Henry emphasizes that team currently struggling against PSG should acknowledge the achievements of Chelsea. At this moment, any club that's falling to PSG must give Chelsea the respect deserved. If teams like Barca and Liverpool, who are often seen as more formidable, can't find a way to defeat PSG, then they have no choice but to recognize Chelsea's strength. Chelsea didn't merely secure a win against PSG, they demonstrated their true prowess. I mean, this is halfly true and halfly false, because it is halfly true because Chelsea set up tactically in the absolute best way to go at Paris Saint-Germain's weaknesses, but it's also half wrong, because if that game is now played, Paris Saint-Germain would beat Chelsea. It was a Fugazi game. It was an anomaly game, especially not just Chelsea winning, but absolutely cooking us, and the game finishing after 27 minutes when Joao Pedro scored the third goal or something. So, halfly true, halfly false. And honestly, I gotta be honest, I've seen some Thierry Henry and Jamie Carragher stuff after that Barca PSG game, talking about Yamal and so on. It's absolutely filthy. There's a reason nobody watches CB Sports Golazo. The only time I see them is from filthy quotes on Twitter, or when they act all childish, I don't know, thinking the word breast is funny. That football club team is called breast. That's a funny thing. So it's only kids that watch their show because that's their intellectually level when it comes to football. And Thierry Henry, for the second, he thinks he knows so much football. First of all, he thinks he's so much better football player than he actually was. Yeah, he might be the biggest Premier League legend, but he's not a footballing legend. He's a legend in the Premier League, and he's not a legend in football. We saw that when he became a third side chick at FC Barcelona. And second of all, he's a failed manager. And you're sitting here telling me how to understand football? Yeah. Obviously, some Premier League Chelsea PR there. Medical news: the discomfort in the pubic area that player Lamine Yamal has been experiencing has appeared after the match against PSG will be out for the Sevilla game. This is something I saw as soon as I woke up, and I tweeted about it, and I said, wow, both Flick and De La Fuente rushing Lamine Yamal back, because De La Fuente rushed Yamal back, he got an injury. Flick rushed Yamal back, and he got an injury. Yamal obviously played for 90 minutes against PSG, which made no sense. First of all, he was poor, especially in that second half, and he just come back from an injury. But I saw a report where the Spanish Federation is mad at Barca, thinking they're faking an injury so he does not go to the international break. It could be that, but I've read about this injury that he has. It's called Pubalgia. It's a really bad injury. Kaká, Fernando Torres, Zlatan, Marco Verratti, many players had it, and after that they had recurring injuries. We know about Kaká, his career got ruined once he joined Madrid and got the injury. Same with Fernando Torres. Verratti still kept a high level in football, but missed so many important games, including most of PSG games in that famous Champions League run in 1920 to the final. So honestly, hopefully it's not that bad, but it could be bad. And it could be that Yamal has to have an operation and could be out for a couple of weeks. But injuries is starting to become a big headline when it comes to football, especially between the club and the national team. And for those that saw the video I made about it before, this is something that Nasser and UEFA are trying to fix, but it's still going to be a problem for the rest of this season at least. Koundé made that young left-back winger look like 2021 Mbappe. I mean, Koundé got embarrassed. And he got physically embarrassed as well. Mbappe didn't just pace through Koundé. He paced and shouldered, and then Koundé went down. It was embarrassing to see. Anything impresses these people wasn't convincing at all, but agendas must agenda. 30.1k likes, and I'm 100% sure that at least 95% of these are Barca fans still crying from the game. What a player. I mean, what a player Vitinha is. What a player Vitinha is. Unfortunately, there are some tables Cristiano can't sit at. Oh, this is World Cup winners: Pogba, Messi, Cruz, Xavi, Del Piero, Ricardo Kaká, Zidane, Cafu, representing Brazil, France, Brazil, Italy, Spain, Germany, France. Beautiful, beautiful picture. Dembu should be here, by the way. Which football stat sounds fake but is actually 100% true? Lionel Messi has only missed once in a penalty shootout in his entire career. Probably Copa America, I think. Yeah, I missed that one. But it feels like Messi hasn't been in that many penalty shootouts. What's this? Gotta read this, man. Athletic with Palestine. Shout out to Atletico Bilbao, man. Ambassador of Athletic. A group of Palestinian refugees in Ixal, Herrera, and representative Herrera will receive the support of San Mamés just before the Saturday match against Mallorca. Absolutely beautiful from Atletico Bilbao. And shout out, to the Basque people and to the Catalonian people and to all the other people supporting the Palestinian cause, because those people, especially the Irish ones as well. I read a story about the Irish thing was, UK back in the day, or England, were doing very bad stuff to the Irish people. And I think the Ottoman Empire, even though the English Empire did not want to, they sent a lot of aid to the Irish people, and that's why the Irish people have always strong with the Palestinian cause. Celtic, they've always had Palestinian banners in their stadium, even before the recent genocide accelerated. But I want to say shout out to the Catalonia and Basque people, because they have been also very supportive of the Palestinian cause. Pick your front three. Interesting. Why they put Dembele, Mbappe, and Rafinha? So they count Dembele as a left winger here? Because these are strikers, these are right wingers. Gotta put Dembele left wing then. I'm gonna take Kane, and I'm gonna take Yamal. Dembele, Kane, Yamal. Yeah, that would cook. Dembele play make score, Kane play make score, Yamal play make. Yeah, that attack would cook. That attack would cook. Yeah, Pubalgia. And I saw this thread actually before, and that's where the one, what the hell is Pubalgia? Pubalgia is a chronic pain, lower abdominal growing, often caused by overuse of imbalance of muscle tendons around the pubic area. It's common for football to do repeated twisting, kicking, and sudden change of direction. So it's not AIDS. It has nothing to do with sex or anything. As you can see, Kaká, Verratti, and even Kaká mentioning here in a quote, they never fully recovered till date. But this happened towards the latter end of his career. Yamal is still young, so... For example, I got told that Ibra had it today. I didn't know that. And it was never seen. Even, I think Ousmane Dembélé had it. So I think there are different degrees of pubalgia. You can have a really bad one that affects you for the rest of your career, or you can have one that, goes a little bit away. Yeah, and this is Gonçalo Ramos talking about the high line of Barca and going in behind it. Very cheeky here from Gonçalo Ramos, learning from Harry Kane. But honestly, we saw PSG do it this season as well. It's a great tactic. It's a high IQ tactic. I want to praise Kane and Gonçalo Ramos for following in Harry Kane's footsteps. But none of these scenarios would have ever happened if Barca didn't play anti-football. How can you be like this? I mean, if I'm imagining us playing Barca anytime, they can score, if they have Rafinha, a better form, Yamal, maybe Lewandowski in good form, maybe Olmo in good form, Barca could score 2 to 3 goals against us. I'm gonna be fully honest. They looked so dangerous out of nowhere. Like that individual ability, the Pedri as well, putting into it. But they're gonna get slapped 5-6 goals if we have our best attack as well. Because of how, and it feels like they will never be able to win a UCL like this. Obviously, they might disprove us, Flick might disprove us all, but that's just my opinion. Barcelona players were surprised by the silent crown versus PSG. They missed last season atmosphere and feel that the French fans were heard more than the locals. And this is very interesting because if I can find my quote tweet right here, this is why I said before the game, it was a video of the ultras going into the stadium. They will create more atmosphere than the Barca fans. So this is like a little bit of a dig to Barca, that they have a dead atmosphere, but obviously it's Mandzukic, Camp Nou is going to come back soon. But I've actually read they're not going to be back there for the Olympiacos game, which just shows it's going to take even more time for Barca to return to Camp Nou. But this is the Paris Saint-Germain ultras. We went to Liverpool, Anfield, our ultras were heard the most. Old Trafford heard the most. Bernabeu heard the most. It's definitely the loudest ultra. And I've read this report. Breaking, Laporta has been invited to the ECA Gala dinner in Rome next week. Which will be the invitation come from Nasser. Also on Wednesday, there's between Barca and President UEFA Sheffield. Yeah, and I saw a report that Laporta wants to leave because I think Barca, Atletico Madrid, and Real Madrid have not officially left the Super League yet since 2022, 2021. But I saw a report that Laporta wants to bring back Barca in better relationship with the UEFA, and look at where the invitation comes from. The strongest and most powerful man in football. It was Perez a couple of years ago, but Nasser Khalifi has definitely taken that throne. Obviously, owner of Paris Saint-Germain, one of the biggest and most relevant clubs in the world, the most powerful clubs in the world. President of the European Association, right under Ceferin. Obviously, the owner of Bain Sports. which is a huge footballing streaming site or streaming, whatever you want to call it. And now he's bringing Laporta in. Big boss Nasser Khalifi. Nuno versus Barca. Again, this is the most valuable fullback in football. He's 99th percentile, almost every attribute. 1v1 defending, athleticism, pace and power, ball carrying, dribbling, creativity, intelligence. One of those players you build on video games. Exactly. Nuno definitely is a cheat code. It's like you maximum all the stats. And he's a left back. He can basically play as a winger. He can basically play as an inside midfielder as well. Absolute cheat code, man. Like the talent hoarding that PSG have, it's insane. Whoa. PSG has refused Magnus Achilles Rodrigo Mora for Cinema Euro. The club preferred to make a room for the Parisian youngster. Regarding Achilles, the transfer could have happened only if an attacking player left. I mean, this is true and false in some sense. Like when it comes to Achilles and Rodrigo Mora, the main thing was their price tag. That's why Paris Saint-Germain were not interested. Porto said release clause or nothing, and we saw the report with Mora going to Saudi was going to be like 60-70 million, and Achilles Monaco wanted 60-70 million. And that's why Achilles didn't go to Bayer Leverkusen or Inter Milan, two clubs that were also linked with him. So it's halfly true, halfly false. We knew that Cinema Euro was going to have a bigger impact this season. And this is a bit true. We've seen that in previous summer transfer windows where we want to offload before we get. For example, if we're going to get Achilles, you remove Kangile. If you want to get Rodrigo Mora, you remove Gonçalo Ramos. So halfly true, halfly false as usual. This was in a Champions League final. Playing Highline 90 in a UCL final. Flick is a madman. I mean, that is true. Flick is a madman. Wow. Didn't even remember this. But I don't know, when we faced Bayern that final, I remember they had a high line. But the offside trap, I mean, here it looks more like an offside trap, but I rarely notice the offside trap. I think that's worse than a high line. I mean, PSG play with a high line many times, especially in that Barca game. Bayern play with a high line. Most, big teams play with a high line. It's the offside trap that I have always had the biggest issue with. Bundesliga clubs have delivered more players to the latest England squad than players at Manchester United, Liverpool, and Chelsea combined. Wow. I don't know if like Jadon Sancho is counted as one of them. Life as Yamal. Survey. Who has been our best player so far in 2025, 2026? You know what? I might do this for all clubs. So let's go Barca. Obviously Pedri. Despite, the poor performance versus PSG, he's been Barca's best player this season. Wow. The ding-dong hype already fell off. No ding-dong in the picture. I mean, when you look at the reports and what Barca fans said about Ding Dong, he should at least be ahead of Yamal there, who's obviously been injured and not in the best form. PSG, I gotta say Fabian Ruiz / Vitinha, both of them deserve it. Madrid, obviously Mbappe. Bayern, obviously Kane, but shout out to Elise. Liverpool, probably Ekitike. City, who's been the best at City? Haaland. Chelsea, even though he's been injured, probably Palmer. Arsenal, I don't know. Arteta, I don't know. Gabriel maybe. Hate to say this, but this should be our defense for the rest of the season. Wow, benching Kubarsi. Now I would still play Kubarsi and Araujo and Koundé and Balde. I mean Christensen. What is a Christensen? I've never understood once again the Christensen rate. He's a good squad player to have, but he's not a starter, man. He's not a starter. He's missing El Clásico. Ooh, Yamal could miss El Clásico. I read some reports that Juan Garcia is a question mark if he's going to miss that game. And Rafinha as well. Pooh. This defense finishes bottom half of the table in Premier League, by the way. No, it doesn't. Stop overrating the filthy Premier League, man. Yeah, I've already said Rodri on this one. Post an image and expect people to understand. Yo, he needs to add Mayulo. He needs to add Seni Mayulo. Yeah, now I'm just going back on my tweets. Well, that's been it for PSG Interacting to Tweets episode 12. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. And as usual, allez, Paris.